And we're live. Welcome back to another episode of the iFilmmaker podcast. My name's Ariel Martinez. We haven't been back in a little while, but we have Mr. Cervatelli back, a change from last episode. What's up, buddy?
What's going on? Glad to be back.
Yes.
Finally.
One of the hardest things to do,
Man.
as we continue to work and build our businesses and careers and whatnot, is to I guess find time, mostly find the same time to be available to do these things, but we're hacking through it.
Yep.
So what's new, man? What's new? Talk to me. What's up?
I mean, lots of work. It's not new, but it's the same old. I took that month off. I don't even remember when it was now. It's what's this month? October, September. I took July, August off.
I think it was August.
I think I took August off. September, I was supposed to be back and doing all this stuff with, back on the podcast, back on YouTube. Yeah. I think we did one podcast, and I think I did one episode plus a giveaway, which was like a week effort at an episode on my part. So I have one shot that's been sitting in the wings to like be edited for, I don't know, like 3 weeks, and it's just been that busy. So, I mean, good problem to have. I'm not mad about that, but it is a bummer to like miss out on this stuff. So happy to be on here with you, man.
Yeah. One of the things that I've noticed, and this is a great thing, like even though we haven't posted, our viewership has increased on the podcast, which is fantastic. I think it's great. And now for those of you that don't know, we're now on Spotify, by the way, which is awesome. I think that we've been trying to get on Spotify since they introduced podcasting. As soon as I heard that, I was trying to jump all over that. But unfortunately, when they started, it was only exclusive to like already huge established podcasters, bigger shows, backed by some huge corporations and whatnot. But now they recently opened it up to us little guys, and so it's been great. Now so basically we're on Spotify. Our podcast, the iFilmmaker podcast, is on Spotify. That makes, I don't know, let's count them. It's iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, Stitcher, Overcast, and now Spotify. Did I miss one?
I'm
pretty sure.
So you said YouTube?
You could always watch it on YouTube. I was just counting. You could count YouTube. I was counting official like podcast platforms. But yeah, that's fantastic. I'm pretty excited about that. But yeah, our viewership has, our listenership has been increasing, which is great. I continue to get questions. I don't know about you, with regards to filmmaking and gear, and I guess specific questions, which I'm always happy to answer on my own personal Instagram, which is usually what I check for things like that. But I think it's
cool if you like, once you've built now, and I've done this with YouTube as well. We've built these content platforms, not platforms, but this library of content. So even if someone finds us today, if they haven't listened to us, maybe they start listening and they go back and listen to other ones. So your like viewership or listenership continues to grow even when you're not doing stuff, because we've banked such a nice library of content. So it's pretty cool if you do start to build any sort of YouTube channel or podcast on your, if obviously not talking to anyone out there, if you start to build it, even when you're not doing stuff, the more and more you do, and build this library of things, that people have things to listen to, and I always thought that was important with my YouTube stuff. When I was starting to build it, I was scared to push it early on, because I was like, someone's going to come and I'm only going to have 3 episodes, but now I'm all about trying to throw it out there, or I don't even have to, because once someone sees one of them, they're like, oh, he has 70, he has 100 other episodes. Let me go watch them. So I think that's really important, is just to keep continuing to create the content. And at first you're not going to have the views or the listens, and you could take a break like we have, or like I have, and it still continues to grow. So once you get back to it, it just keeps rolling. So that's nice, that once you get into it, you can kind of pull back a little bit and take your breathers when needed, and it doesn't come to a complete halt.
No, yeah, that's definitely a relief. That's,
Yeah.
it's been a concern of mine. But we post when we can, so that's the best that we can do and anyone can ask for. I think that's a good thing. So today I was thinking we've been getting busy. Things have been happening. I was thinking we can talk about, kind of discuss how how we make sure that we stay relevant in the market, right? And how we kind of organize it, because one thing that happens as you continue to grow in your business is you're still going to be getting hired by clients that were probably hiring you from a while ago. And your clientele basically just starts building up, and you got to start getting organized, and you got to start making sure that you're not double booking, and making things clear. So um, yeah, I think that it's something good that we can discuss today. And
Yeah.
actually, I think that we can let's start with an example. Actually, um, I've worked with Burger King. I do a lot of their internal stuff, video and even photos, but I haven't done anything with them for, I would say, about a year and a half, maybe.
Wow.
And which is fine, not a problem. I'm still getting busy. But recently I got hired to do a quick little shoot. Like, they
I
were,
saw it on your Instagram yesterday, right?
yeah. Unfortunately, what got lost in translation, what got miscommunicated is to what they needed.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So again, and I guess I should have known this, but I've been so busy. I'm like, all right, it's more like just replying, go back to editing, replying, go back to editing, go replying to emails, go back to editing. And we've been going back and forth. We even spoke on the phone. But they just needed a few stills, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I go there, and this is probably like the first time that I show up with my video camera and not like my A6300 or GH5.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm they're they're wondering, okay, so are you gonna get frames from this video and just send it to us? I'm like, what are you referring to? Um, and I'm like, and then that's when it just hit me. I'm like, wait a minute, you needed stills? And it was just such an awkward moment, because we just spent like the entire hour and a half lighting this restaurant, right? Because we have to get outdoor shots, and at night. So we were just lighting the inside and a little bit of lights on the outside. And then once we're all lit, I have my camera there the whole time so they can see the shot. And that's where that was the awkward moment. But basically that whole thing happened because it was just obviously miscommunication. And and we both, from both sides, everything happened so fast. Not only did they need a quick turnaround, like, hey, we need you like yesterday, so we had to kind of make things happen that way. But and I guess my excuse is I never get hired for photos. Like, I really don't. The last time, they're really the only people, now that I think about it, that hire me to do photography. Right. And which, I'll do for a price, and it's Burger King, so why not? But that's where it was confusing. And so basically I messed up because I should have been more clear. I should have been asking the right questions. I should have made sure that, I guess, the whole project was clear. And it's important that as you get busier and busier and busier, that we not get careless. Like, even, things like this can happen, and it's just such a bummer. Well, I mean, eventually, like, what I ended up doing was I just shot raw the whole thing, cinema DNG with the Sony, and pulled stills from there, which they were actually pretty happy with. They actually kind of want to do a reshoot, but for different reasons. But they were actually not too upset about the final products that I was able to give them.
But does it end up being a bigger file? You shot it in 4K, I assume, in RAW, right? Or no, can you shoot RAW 4K on there?
Yeah. So I shot cinema DNG. Basically, like, I never shoot Sony RAW with video, but because these were stills that they needed, so I just need a few seconds, for every time I hit record, and it gives me a DNG file, which when I import it into Photoshop, it's essentially a raw file for an image, a still.
Yep.
You know, so, and that's why Cinema DNG videos are so freaking big. And I mean, yeah, that's why I never shoot that, but obviously I had to. I'm glad I at least had that option.
Was it any bigger than, like, what's the, I don't know what size the A6300 is in stills. Did this frame end up being bigger than, resolution wise, be bigger than your stills you would have gave them anyways?
No, it's still the same. Well, this was cinema, so it was the 17:9 aspect ratio. And here, let me actually I can actually pull up one of the frames for this. But basically it's like getting a still from a video, but that specific still, it's not like a screenshot. Like the way it saves it is as an image, which is, that's why you have to import it kind of weird. You have to actually import it. I can't drag and drop into Premiere. I have to actually go through the media browser, I think is the proper way of doing it. But yeah, like these DNG files are 13.4 megabytes per file, per frame.
For a still.
For a still. So I think a regular raw image from, like, let's say a Canon or a Sony or something like that, it's somewhere in around a normal still. I'm not talking about A7R Mark II, which is like megapixels are like crazy. I'm talking about a normal stills camera. It's something like 25 megabytes, something like that. So this is not too far off. It was all right. They were happy with it. You still have raw capabilities of, you know, messing with the image and whatnot. But anyways, yeah, everything happened so fast, and they were in such a rush for this. I had to, obviously this was a learning lesson for me as well, for sure. I'm here assuming, because I think everything we referred to everything as shots. They told me we need to just get a few shots of the restaurant, right? So to me, shots are video.
Yeah.
So obviously it was such a fail, I think, in my view. But it was in addition to like them moving up the call time by an hour and never letting me know.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it was that was another miscommunication, but that was actually on we established that was on their end. But anyways, I think it's important that for sure we don't get careless like I did with this project, right? To, you know, it's good that, and I say this because I was telling you, I was recently updating all of my directories, making sure that the videos that I have uploaded there are up to date, the information, the content, all that stuff. I kind of on Production Hub, I kind of not reformatted. It kind of changed up the categories that I'm listed on Production Hub. I picked a couple of different ones. Most of them stayed the same. And I uploaded new videos, which, by the way, Production Hub, great platform, but my goodness, the process of uploading new videos is it's ridiculous. My goodness. Yeah. Apparently they're all like, they expect you to upload movies for some reason. I don't know why they need all that information, but anyways, yeah, man. And so that's been helpful. That's been helpful for me. I've been getting, I noticed my inquiries have been rising. Like I've been getting more emails and calls and whatnot. So it's a good thing, but you know, being organized is something that is extremely important when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Have you ever had situations like that where it's just like you kind of have to step back and look at everything, kind of like make sure that you're not going crazy and just making mistakes?
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna comment on having all of your, you know, your what did you call them? I'm sorry. You know, if your Production Hub, your Yelp, or all that stuff.
Directories.
Directories, there you go. Having all your directories updated. Obviously, I don't even know what they're called, so I haven't done that recently. But you know, thankfully, I haven't had to do that recently. getting enough recurring type of work, but I do have it done. But I haven't stepped back and looked at that in a while, which I probably should. So I don't know, you know, I haven't seen I don't want to say ROI because I really haven't put money into it per se. I think I did Production Hub, like the paid version once. And that paid for itself quickly.
Yeah.
I've never paid for Yelp yet. They call me all the time still.
Oh,
They
yeah.
call me,
I
all the
did.
time.
I had paid for Yelp, but back when I first started, they got me for like $300 a month, which was crazy. They really got me. I was still a young buck in the industry. I did that for like 3 months, and I quickly canceled. I'm like, guys, you're not getting me any work.
Yeah, I mean, it's so much of this comes from word of mouth or referrals. Not that you can't get work online; it definitely happens. But I don't know how. I don't want to say I know how to go get more and more clients without doing that stuff, because it's just you do a job, you make a contact, you work with somebody else that within that company, and then they leave the company and they work for another company, and then they contact you, and it's just like, it just kind of happens that way. You just gotta, I guess, just keep doing as many jobs you can, even if early on you're not getting paid what you want to, because it's just going to lead to more stuff in the future. So, but I need to get back to the directories too. Is something
I think that's always a good thing to always have, because you could always say no. Like if you're too busy, you could always say no.
Well, I have them there. I just haven't. Yeah, I don't know if I have them set up the best way possible. You know, I have to really look into that.
That's actually how. That's actually the reason why I had not updated mine in a long time, and that's actually the reason why I felt I needed to go in there, and I've been feeling this way for a long time. I knew that, man, I have to get in there at some point and kind of update my stuff, update my information. Like I went in there and I had videos that I had done 3 years ago, and I'm like, man, these people are seeing my profile and judging me on 3-year-old videos, you know? I have to put more updated stuff. So just a reminder for everyone that's listening, we are live on YouTube. Make sure that you're subscribed to get the notifications every time we go live. We do have a chat opened up for everyone that wants to join. We definitely have viewers tuned in live right now. Mr. Daga says, hey, I guess
Deborah.
It's Deborah, not
Debbie.
He's referring to Deborah. asking if Daga wrote Debbie all right. Actually, my FS5's name is Deborah. Daga, get it right. So yes, Debbie is all right. He's actually referring to an image that I posted on social media. Actually, the Burger King shoot. We were shooting in the rain. Like the thing was so complicated because we had to work while the restaurant was open, and there was drive-through. We have to get the actual drive-through. They were actually trying to promote this new drive-through that they have a huge window that you can see everybody working on in the inside. It looks really nice. It's a very modern Burger King one. It's a corporate one. So we wanted to get stills of that, but there were so many cars passing by. So we had to wait for a long time. And just like as the last 2 cars were leaving, it started to rain. So I kind of had to like, okay, let's just chill out for a bit. I withstood the rain for a little bit, you know. I'm like, okay, let's just get these shots real quick. But we were getting rained on, you know. So it was.
Did you have cover for the camera?
We were under some trees.
Oh, okay.
But still, it was kind of like seeping through. At some point, we were like, we just had to book it. Yeah. But yeah, Debbie. Look, you got me saying Debbie now. Deborah. Deborah was a trooper. She's all right. She's good. But God, Debbie. But anyways, where were we?
Where were we? Directories. I mean,
yeah,
directories. I think we're moving on from there, but
yeah, staying organized is extremely important.
Yeah, but I guess I can go on to that too. As far as stepping back and staying organized. Yeah, I take pride in my organizational skills. So I've never really had to step back and be more organized because I am probably way over organized to begin with. So thankfully, again, I haven't had to kind of be like, oh, I've never double booked. I've never done anything like that.
Yeah,
It's
I've seen your organizational skills. Like we don't go out to eat without you taking a picture of that receipt and making sure that that thing gets
it goes.
to your
Yep.
books. I'm like, dude, I'll just see it in my transactions later.
Yes. I mean, so what's funny about that is I could connect my card, obviously, to my accounting software and it could automatically input it, but I don't like the way that it logs them. So it doesn't put it under the correct category. So if I want to go back and look later what I spent on food and whether that's entertaining like a client or if that's just meals that I'm
Sure.
eating for work or whatever, it doesn't organize it like that. So I don't even let it do it on its own. I personally do it. So that's the level of crazy organized I am. So yeah, I haven't had to do that, thankfully. I'm pretty tedious with everything I do. Not that I haven't made mistakes. I've made plenty.
Yeah.
And email is probably one of the quickest ways to do so, especially the way you're saying it. I'll be editing, emails come in and I'm like, I go right to the email and just try to answer it real quick. And then I get back to the edit. And sometimes you whiz through it a little too quickly. So, you make a mistake, whether it's just grammatical, which I hate and sounds stupid. You sound stupid because you're not typing the right things. But sometimes it's information, it's, I might type, you know what I've done recently? Actually, I did this twice recently. I've booked the wrong day for a flight because I was looking up and thankfully I noticed them right away, but I just have to go back and redo it. Yeah. But the reason I did is because I'm looking up like trying to get in the morning or trying to get in the night before. And I'm going back and forth and looking at different airlines. And then I end up picking the one I want, but then book, like, let's say I decided in my head, okay, I'm going to fly in the morning.
Yeah.
And then I end up booking the like morning, the wrong day. So like I do it a day early because I was still looking at the previous night. So that date is on the screen and then I book. It's just, I mean, and that's just a matter because it's so much going on.
Yeah.
But I've done that twice in the last like 2 weeks because I've been crazy booking flights.
Yeah, surprisingly, I've never booked the wrong flights.
Thankfully, I've noticed it and like didn't have to fly that flight.
Oh yeah, did you notice it within the 24 hours?
Oh, I did both times. Noticed within the first time I didn't notice till almost 24 hours later. The second time I noticed right away. I was like, oh man, that's not the right date, and I had to cancel it. But thankfully it wasn't like I went to get on the plane and I missed my flight or anything like that, or it was the next day. That would be a pretty crappy situation. Damn. But no, I noticed them quickly enough, thankfully. But I definitely have done that literally in the last 2 weeks. I've probably done that twice.
Yeah, I think that for booking flights and whatnot, I'm very meticulous on that stuff. I'm very like, I have to like triple and quadruple look at the dates and times of everything that I'm booking. Even after I book it, I make sure, like I go to the confirmation, I make sure, because I know that that's just a pain in the butt to change and to go through that process. Now I've had to change flights several times, but that's like not because I booked the wrong ones. It's just the client changed their mind and that whole process. But I always make sure that at least I get that right,
So that's one thing that's actually slowed down, like, or I'm sorry, sped up for me, where usually I would take my time with that and I'd be asking the client, what do we need? When should I get there? All this stuff. Yeah. Now, when an inquiry comes up, and because I've been getting a lot of like last minute stuff, even and I have to get places, as soon as it comes up, I book it. And then I just make sure, this is where I make sure is to, within the next 24 hours, figure out what's going on. And if we can't figure it out, I just cancel it and then book another one. And it's like, but I have to, because one, the tickets are running out and or the price goes up, which I'm more so just being nice to them for the price because they're the ones paying for it. But more importantly, that flight's available and it doesn't go up like, I mean, I've seen, you see them go up $400, $500, $600 overnight because there's only 3 tickets left and 2 of them get snagged. And then the last one costs $1,000, So I've like now I'm like kind of quickly booking flights as opposed to really being meticulous and waiting. I book it and then I figure it out as the rest of the day goes. I used to have it ready to go and get on the phone and be like, hey, are you sure? Should I book this? Should I book this? And then finally a couple of my clients are like, just book it and we'll figure it out in the next couple hours and you cancel it. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah. That's a good point. So If you do start, if anyone is listening, starts getting into more and more flights,
Yeah.
and booking flights, that becomes more of a habit because you can't lose the flight. You'd rather have it, be able to cancel it, than not get it or have to pay it on extra later for you or your client.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Mm.
How do you book your flights? Lately, I've been doing mine, and I do it, and my process has been getting a lot faster. I just literally do it from the Expedia app,
Mm-hmm.
and I just booked straight from there. They
Yeah,
have all my preferences.
I used to use Expedia all the time. I don't whenever I don't have to anymore. I always book through the airline.
Mm,
Expedia has their own fees on top of the cancellation fees, and like that just
yeah.
becomes a whole issue. And trying to change a flight, you have to
Oh
go through that.
yeah, yeah. That does.
And
I,
I
I,
mean, I
I,
try to fly the same airlines as much as possible, unless like just the only flight available is
yeah,
a
yeah,
different airline or it's way cheaper.
yeah.
Otherwise, now I know United well enough. I fly out of Newark, which is a hub, so
Sure.
I'm always on United's site for the most part.
Mm.
I mean,
And you book straight from the website, or
yeah,
you book
sure, the site or
directly?
from my phone. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
directly from United. Yeah,
Every now and
and
then I have to fly a different airline, which I really don't like to do, but you know,
speaking
so
of that, I'm flying to New Orleans on Monday, and I have to take Spirit Airlines down there.
oh,
It's my first time. I'm not happy
oh,
about it.
I am so sorry.
Yeah, I'm not excited about it. It
Did
was a
they book
very
you?
interesting process. No, I did, but it was the only flight to get there in
Oh,
time for what we have to do, without going in the day before and like middle or early in the day before. Which one I don't want to do Sunday football, and two,
oh
um,
man.
it would have cost them extra because I would have been there another day. So they didn't want to do that. Um, so yeah, I have to
Damn.
fly Spirit. I'm not excited about that. It's my first
Not
time ever.
the seats do not recline.
Well, so I did go with the like big seat up front,
Okay.
because it was only like $20 more than the regular seat. You
Sure.
know how they like I've never done this. But they have like $11 seat. You have to pay for the seat, and the one up front in this flight was only like $30 or something. So I was like, well,
Yeah.
I'll pay the extra $20. Like it looks like a nicer chair. So
Yeah.
um,
That
yeah, so
sucks,
I went
man.
with
I'm
that.
sorry. Well,
Yeah,
you gotta you have your highs and your lows
yeah. Well, it's an experience nonetheless, right?
when it
So
comes
if
to
I get there,
traveling. Oh man. So talking about let's take the conversation a little back. You had mentioned
sure.
emails. When it comes to emails and I guess being organized and answering emails, that's another thing that actually I kind of make sure that I say the right thing.
Hmm.
Just like booking flights, I make sure that in my emails I reread everything
Oh my
before
god,
I
I do it
hit
so
that.
many times.
Huh?
I reread. I take forever to write emails, and
Yeah, yeah.
the only
No,
times I'll mess up, like we were talking about, is if I'm like editing and trying to go back and forth. Even
yeah,
when I read them two or three times, if I'm
sure.
like in the middle of an edit, like I know I have that subconscious thing where like, oh, I want to finish this part of the edit, but like I need to
Mhm.
answer this email too. So it's like I feel that little bit of rush, but I do the same
Yeah.
thing, and I read. I actually take way too long to answer them in general because I'm so like
Yeah.
careful. I wish I could speed it up.
No, yeah. Just like you, if I'm in the middle of an edit and I need to respond, but I know that this is gonna it's not a quick response, I'll
Hmm.
flag the email so that I can get back to it later. So that if I
Yeah,
receive several more emails for whatever,
it
um,
stays up top.
yeah, well, it doesn't stay up top. Basically, I'll just click on the flagged emails and
Yeah.
I'll see it there. So, I mean, yeah, I always make sure that I take my time and I write things correctly, um, and give an appropriate response as well. I never respond to emails with one word, you know,
Oh no.
two or three words, like never. I think that that's I don't know. I feel I feel like that's super not only rude but like
Unprofessional?
huh?
Unprofessional?
Yeah, yeah, something like that. I can't find the exact word I'm looking for, but yeah, you can go with unprofessional because um man, whenever can you imagine like email is supposed to be for work and things like that, and you're responding with one word emails, and then if you have a signature, your signature and everything. I think it's I don't know. Um I wouldn't say it's a pet peeve, but I'm like, okay,
I mean,
whatever.
the only time I get them back where it's like I've gotten short emails where I feel like I feel shorted, right? Like it's like that's all you had to say about that sort of thing. But the only other times that I find it, or times that I do get them where I find it acceptable, is if it's like 5 or 6 people on the chain and something is said where everyone needs to kind of know, and you get like somebody replies like copy or received or got it, you know?
Yeah. Even then, like I'll write something like, yes, that sounds good to me. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like legit, like I'll write that whole thing. I don't know. It's just something about emails that I cannot respond so short, or else I'll feel weird.
It's not such a text message
response. Yeah, it's not text messaging. You know, text messaging, yes, I could respond. Even then, I don't respond with one word. You know, I'll say awesome, thanks, you know, and you know, I'll give a proper response to whatever I'm replying to. But yeah, I think so with regards to emails and all that stuff, I make sure that, because it's our communication between us and the client. It's our communication between us and the client, and you know, you're not standing in front of them, so I guess this is your representing yourself in front of them. So I don't know, it's just the way that I feel with regards to communication and talking to clients. I think it's important that you
I had to write I completely agree. I had to write an email the other night that was like a somewhat of a pitch email, and it took me almost 2 hours. Granted, I was watching like some playoff baseball while I was doing it. I knew I was like, all right, let me sit down and write this email, but I'll put the game on. And it just took forever, and I read it so many times. But I mean, I guess if you're pitching an idea or trying to get some work, you know, that's super important, as opposed to if you're in the middle of a conversation and it's flowing. But yeah, I'm the same way, man. I reread, and you know, sadly, English was my worst subject in school, so I have to make sure like my grammar is correct and I've spelt everything correctly.
I actually take pride in my grammar. I'm always that guy correcting.
Is English your first language?
Actually, no. I grew up Spanish first, but in school, obviously, I think it was like first or second grade on, I learned English the rest of my life, you know?
Right.
And then, you know, Spanish took kind of a backseat to that. But I think I take pride in my grammar. I'm usually that annoying guy correcting grammar. Like that needs an apostrophe. There should be a comma there. I'm that guy. But no, yeah, it's not your.
Yeah.
That's usually me. But no, yeah, rereading emails is extremely important. And all right, so moving on to continuing on the organizational path, one of the things that I'm, even after all these years, I'm still trying to get a handle on it, and I've gotten a lot better, is you mentioned you've never double booked before. I think I've double booked like twice, or yeah, I would say twice. I don't think it was 3 times in my entire career. That really sucks. What I try to do now, because I have like right now, I currently have like 3 shoots that are like not confirmed yet, right? So if they're not confirmed, I usually what I used to do, I would not even write it down on my calendar.
You took my advice. We've talked about this before.
Yeah, we had. Did you?
Yeah, on an episode.
Were you the one that told me about the question marks?
Put a question mark. Yes. Getting through. See, as long as we get through to somebody, and if it's me or you, I'm happy.
And if it's me, yeah. So that's what I do. I put
it works, right?
Yeah, it does. It really does. Yeah. Just to make sure that I know that there's an unconfirmed shoot, and so I'm able to go back to my clients and say, so I had 2 clients. One of them wanted me for like a whole week. No, one of them had a whole week range and they needed me 2 days out of that week. Another one had me unconfirmed, but they said it could only happen these 2 days. And so I just put question mark on those 2 days. But that client, the other client that had a whole week range, was, you know, asking, hey, are you still available this whole week? We want to go with you, but we're gonna kind of lay things out. And then I said, well, I told them I have an unconfirmed shoot for these 2 days. But I fully expect those to be confirmed soon. So just, you know, let's act as if those are not available.
Work around them.
Yeah. So see, being able to do things like that, usually where I would say, yeah, it's all available. Then I got to kind of have to walk it back. But see, all of that
Do you think
goes
that
out the way.
was,
Huh?
do you think that was an early on thing that you were like, you know what, whatever job I can get, I'm taking it?
Maybe.
So,
I
you
think
know,
so.
whereas now you're like a little bit more like, oh, okay, more jobs come up. I got to be careful with this. You know, maybe
Yes.
that was just a habit early on. It's like, I don't care. If they ask me if I'm available, the answer is yes, you know?
Yeah, I think so. That could very well be the
Yeah.
reason why I do that. Um, also, I mean, I'm talking, and sometimes I'll say it's funny because sometimes we're either talking on the phone or talking in person. They're asking me, "Hey, are you available this day?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it," because I don't think of anything off the top of my head. But then immediately I'm like, wait a minute, let me. I pull out my phone, I look at my calendar, look at the dates, and make sure that I have nothing booked. You know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I don't say yes or no to anything without looking at my calendar. I would
yeah,
never
that's a bad
remember.
habit for me. I mean, I've gotten better at it for sure. But no, it's something that I would have to get much better at, you know. I need to get your OCD organizational
Yeah, my
skills.
yeah, my
I need to
meticulousness.
get on that level, man.
It's
But
good. I mean, you know, people goof on you for it, but it works when it comes to this kind of stuff.
yeah, man, it definitely. I think that uh, so long as you stay organized and you're updating your directories and you're making sure that you stay relevant. Another directory I'm trying to update now, and it's a little bit tougher. It's a little trickier. Staff Me Up, man. Um, I think it's good. I think it's really good. It has a lot of potential, but I think that you kind of have to get the wheels rolling before it really starts working for you. Have you
Yeah,
ever used Staff Me Up before?
I think I'm on there as well. I've never used it to get crew, and I've never been booked on there. I think I just kind of signed up early on,
Yeah.
but haven't done anything with it.
I think the way that works, and I'm not sure if anybody that's listening live could shed more light on this. I think the way that works is the more you get work on there, the more people can vouch for you, because that's how it works. Like how many credits you have and how many jobs you've done through here and all that stuff. And people hire you according to that. So but the cool thing I like about it though is that every time let's say a new job gets posted, you want to go and apply for, you physically have to apply for that job in the website. It'll tell you where you rank out of all the people that have already applied to it.
Oh wow.
It tells you you'll be ranked, you'll have a certain ranking according to all the applicants, right? The Deadliest Catch, that show, actually they post there, and a lot of like documentary reality TV shows and all that stuff, they post jobs there. And it tells you where you rank. I'm usually in the bottom of all the applicants because I've never had a job through there. I usually get jobs elsewhere, but it's definitely something I want to start pursuing. So I think that's I got to get on the ball for that. So I think it's a good option as in terms of another directory. And
Yeah,
I know
for
that
sure.
there are things like freelancer.com.
You're not gonna make much money on there, I don't think.
Oh no, I've never tried it.
I don't think so. I think that's one of those that people just keep undercutting each other, and similar to Upwork. Is that another one? Upwork?
Yeah, I actually use Upwork, but like to
Do you
hire
get
people.
jobs off there? Oh, to hire people. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's exactly if you're trying to find someone, that you get a good deal for, and, but that's the toughest part about in this, in our field is you want to get a good price, but the cheaper you go, usually the less experience or possibly even talent that they have. Right. So it's like you walk that fine line of I want to make this profitable for me, but at the same time I need to come out with a good product. So it's difficult.
I have a question for you, man.
Yeah.
What do you think? And I have my own opinions, and I have some friends that have their opinions as well. What do you think? And have you ever ran into the situation where somebody tells you cannot charge too little for your services because then you're what do they call it? Like it's not good for the market. Like
you're bringing down the market value of your
yeah.
I mean,
What's your thought on that?
I love that idea. It'll never happen. I mean, there's plenty of other people out there that'll do it for cheaper always.
Right.
I wish there was a standard or a minimum. But yeah, because now if we're trying to go out there and charge, I don't know, let's just pick a number, $1,500 a day for a shoot, and people are better and better equipment coming out and all this stuff, and people could figure it out how to buy less equipment and still pump out a decent product that's pretty close to what we're pumping out maybe on like cinema cameras.
Sure.
And they want to go do it for $800 for the day. You're going to lose out on jobs because people keep undercutting you and pretty much coming out with a similar product, and or at least better than half, not half the quality of yours, even though they're charging half the price. So I don't like it. I wish there was some sort of like minimum. But there's no rules on that. And
I think so. This is my whole thing, because people have told me that and I think this mostly pertains to like the people in the I don't know if it's higher end industry, like, or people that just get hired just for specific jobs, audio, boom ops. For me, like I was on this job where I was offering, and this is how I normally work. Like my rate includes my gear. My gear is not individually priced.
Yep.
So if they're hiring me for the same rate, and I bring whatever they need.
Yep.
And it's all one flat rate. I don't start adding prices. Like if they ask me for a slider, I'll bring my slider. That's not a problem, Yep. They say the way that you're supposed to do that, you're supposed to add a different price to it, and I'm like, I'm not going to be putting a price tag on everything that I have and just start adding all that stuff up. I just don't. I prefer not to work that way. But my overall opinion on it is that I mean, it's essentially like what competition in a free market is. I think that they have a valid concern, but after a certain time, you're just not going to be profitable. That's why the price is what the price is. I think people have been doing that for so many years already.
Yeah,
and there's still a market for everything,
Yeah.
Even with new products coming out. Well,
just like you're saying, I promise you, I'm not going to get the same quality paying $300 for an audio guy for the day where I pay as opposed to paying $1,000. I'm not going to, because they're not going to profit if they keep doing that.
You seen $1,000 priced audio guy?
Oh, yeah, I just had one. But I mean, I had I had a boom, I had 3 lavs, I had 3 hops, and it was a 2-hour shoot. But I mean, yeah, you start doing bigger projects.
2-hour shoot?
Yeah, but they drove 3 hours each way.
Okay.
A full day.
That makes sense. But
the shoot itself was 2 hours.
Oh wow. The audio guys that I've worked with are usually like 500-600.
I did one 3 years ago. We had 6 lavs, 2 guys, and it was like 1,800. But I mean, it depends on which they do charge. They do charge per piece of equipment. Yeah, per lav, per field recorder. So like it keeps adding up on top of there. And plus I had 2 guys. I had 2 guys on that one. So
it was 2 audio guys.
2 audio guys, yeah, because they didn't want them. We didn't want them one guy monitoring 6 people, because that's so hard. So we put 3 and 3 on each.
I don't know. Yeah, that's.
It was,
I guess it depends on the
7,
job.
I think it was 7 lavs.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the bigger the jobs, the bigger they cost. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I think that, I mean, it should be that way, but I don't think that, like, it's essentially like I think like it's like Burger King telling McDonald's, don't go below this price point, otherwise you're gonna make it hard for the rest of us. It's like, dude, I mean, I don't know. I think it's competition, but at the end of the day, everyone's gonna have to be profitable. Like, I can guarantee you, the person that's undercutting you, is not gonna be able to maintain that stuff, and there's a huge difference. Like, we talk about all these new cameras that are coming out, but you cannot compare those cameras to the higher end cameras that are out there in professional sets. Like, that's just not going to happen, Yeah,
there's a place for everything. Yeah,
for sure.
Saying you're only profitable to a certain point, and then there's a place for everything too. There's corporate work and commercials that need high end cameras. They're not going to hire somebody that just shooting on DSLRs. It's just because they need more than that. So yeah, there's a place for everything. I mean, it's more of a bummer when you're getting started and you kind of go on sites like these Production Hub or anything, and you're trying to get jobs.
Yeah.
People just keep undercutting you. And then it's like, well, now it's not even worth my time because some kid who's in high school just doing it for fun is offering $100 a day. And like, I just can't do $100 a day. Like it's not worth even my equipment, you know?
Yeah.
It's
not even worth my time.
Right. So that's where it's, I think, more of a bummer. So it's probably more of a bummer in the freelance world.
Yeah, but like, I mean, I know you're just setting an example.
Yeah.
I know you're just setting an example, but if the client just wants to pay that much, like if that's what the client is trying to pay,
then they can find that quality.
They could literally, like, you literally, just like Amazon, you get what you pay for.
Right.
I truly believe that. I don't think that anybody that is
I 100% agree with you. You get what you pay for. I love that. I love that expression. I think it's true. I mean, someone's not going to just charge you. They're probably been there before and done that before, so they're going to do a good job.
I was doing, when I first started, I was doing some sort of cooking show on YouTube for this. I was helping this woman make a YouTube channel, and I was giving her some good stuff. Really nice intro, really nice outro, everything in between was great. It's a good cooking show. And I mean, I just started. She was paying me $800 a month. But we did like one shoot and we recorded like 8 episodes and stuff. And I was getting started. And she told me she got upset because she found out one of her friends does video, and her friend told her, she said she would do it for $200, right? And she got upset with me because she thinks that I was like kind of cheating ripping her off. And I'm like, okay, can I see her work? She goes, no. She just says that she didn't tell me no. She just says that she doesn't have her work. She just says that that's what she charges. And I'm like, okay, she does video, but you just don't know the quality of her work. She just says that she charges I guarantee you. And I told her, I'll guarantee you that it's not going to be what I'm giving you right now. You know? Yeah. And that's essentially how this is. Like, you get what you pay for. There's no way anybody worth their salt would be charging $200 for, I don't know, like 5-6 videos. You know, there's no way that is worth quality. Anybody with experience would charge that much, you know? And there are different levels. In the industry, and you know, you just gotta. And this is why it doesn't concern me, and this is why I don't see, like, when people have an issue where, you know, if the client wants it, I'll give it to them. You know, and I have a client that recently asked, you know, I gave him a quote, and it was a freaking hefty quote, right? And it looks like they're gonna go with me, but at the last second they said, hey man, is it okay if we get some stills? Like, we would not want some stills in photography, like of the actual location and the offices and stuff. And I'm like, you know what? This is a very hefty quote, like very big. And I'm like, you know what? I'll throw that in there for sure. Not a problem. You know, for me, it's the way that, like, all right, let's put that stamp on this project so we can get it going, you know? Actually, the production assistant that I was going to hire for that actually does a little bit of photography. I'll just have him shoot a few stills if he's willing, but I'll take my camera if he doesn't want to do that. But it's just one of those things where I think free market and competition is a great thing. At the same time, I don't think it's going to, is it dilute? Is it the right word? Dilute the market?
Dilute.
Dilute? Yeah. I don't know if that's the right word. But anyways, I don't think that that's going to happen. Right. I just don't think that that's going to happen because.
And not now, dude. I mean, there's just becoming more and more content being created. So it's like, there's plenty out there.
Of course.
I'm not scared of it. I understand what they're saying with how it dilutes the price in the market for things. But again, if you're stuck in the middle there, or lower middle tier, I can understand that. But for me, I want to shoot for high quality, good work and pricey work. Like, I'm not scared of that.
Yeah. No, me neither. You know? Me neither. I don't know. It's my opinion. Look, I could be wrong. I'll never claim that I'm right on this, but I could be wrong. It's just I'm going based on what I see. I think that there's more than enough work to go around, and there's more than enough freelancers for that work. I think it's perfectly balanced right now, in my opinion. All right, man. I think were you gonna say something?
No, I like it.
Cool. I think that that's a good ending point on this episode. We're a little, left and right, going a few different topics there, but overall, I think it was a good comeback episode. Thanks to everyone that was watching live and sending in your comments. Just a reminder, we are now on Spotify. We're now on Spotify. Go check that out. We are on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, Stitcher, Overcast, and Spotify. So you have right there 6 different podcasting platforms that you can listen to this show. Also, check out the new iFilmmaker.tv website, where we're posting blogs and video reviews of products and all that good stuff. This is where all this information is going to be living and being hosted on from here on out. Mr. Ceratelli, have you had any new videos on the channel? You said you
I did a giveaway in the middle of the month. I had a video early. I have an unboxing in the works. It should be out hopefully next week is the plan.
All right. Y'all get ready for that. Go make sure you subscribed over to the Jersey Filmmaker YouTube channel. At the same time, subscribe to the iFilmmaker YouTube channel. Get notified when we go live and join the conversation live. All right. So this will be the end of this episode. Mr. Ceratelli, thanks for joining us. I'll see you guys on the next one.
See you later.